What's up, everybody? Welcome to Racing Dudes Live on Saturday, April 8th. We're so happy you're here. I am Magic, with me, Mike Somich, Vinny Blonde from Real Picks by Dynasty, and Dr. Tang taking a break from curing cancer. Everybody is here. Got a full boat. Aaron and Jared are at Keeneland. Who knows if they'll show up? They ghosted us yesterday, and we did just fine without them. We'll see what happens today. And boy, speaking of today, Mike, you, my friend, you've been all over these races. Sometimes when it's been a price, you used the wrong horse in your tournament, but I know that as far as betting goes and as far as the betting Bible goes, I've been all over Keeneland today, buddy.
Yeah, it's been fun to have the winner in every race. Unfortunately, I didn't cash any tickets with it, which kind of sucks. Sometimes the ticket structure is what kills you. All over that early pick 5, which paid $22,000, just didn't put the 10 in after putting the 13 in. But what can you do? Welcome to horse racing, right?
Well, what you can do is you can play Dr. Tang's tickets. He did hit that pick 5 that paid out very handsomely. Dr. Tang, I know that your biggest opinion was Fortin Hill, and that was a great effort from him as well to get the job done. What are you looking forward to as we hit the Kentucky Derby preps here?
Well, the races today look pretty competitive. Nice big fields. That's all you can ask for. We've had some upsets already in the morning here. So let's see what horse racing brings to us. I know the first thing we're going to look at is Toyota Bluegrass Stakes. So I'm looking forward to that.
It's just the Bluegrass. Toyota doesn't sponsor us, so we don't say the sponsor.
Sorry, the Bluegrass.
I'm totally kidding. Vinny, we were just talking about before we came on the Carter, and thank God, nothing against the horse, but thank God Repo Rocks did not win the Carter. Our boy Doppelganger Mike, we loved him as a 2-year-old. He's a little late getting these grade 1 wins. We needed this literally a year ago today, but we got the job done with Doppelganger. Huge price, Vinny. What'd you think about that race?
That was a fun race. Glad Repo didn't win. I didn't want to see Ness get that grade 1, but it was nice to see Doppelganger finally break through there. That was midway down the stretch. It looked like anybody could win, and he was the only horse that really found another gear, it looked like.
Yeah, it's Ray Handel, he's a nice upstanding guy. He got his first graded stakes win today, but no grade 1 win yet for Jamie Ness. But all right, we are looking ahead. We've got 3 Kentucky Derby preps we're covering on the show here: Bluegrass, Santa Anita Derby, the Wood Memorial, in that order, and we're going to stay at Keeneland right here on the screen. You see Tapit Trice. If I can, you know what? I've got the wrong. I just realized I have the wrong track up right now. That's Aqueduct. Let me fix that right now. While I talk about that, Tapit Trice, even money favorite to get the job done. Mike, this is not the running style. Tapit Trice's running style, usually, at least in the Tampa Bay Derby, isn't doing well at Keeneland. Can he get the job done today?
It's going to be interesting to see how this pace plays out. Speed has been very good at Keeneland. And so you'd expect that Verifying, who I'm not so sure can get the distance, is going to be up front early. It's whether or not Verifying can hang on. I'm interested to see where Tapit Trice sits. If we go back to that race, 2 back against Shesterkin in the optional claimer, Tapit Trice only a length off a 47-1 opening half mile. That's where Tapit Trice needs to be. You cannot be 8-10 lengths back early in this race if you want to try and win this, especially without another real speed candidate. I know Major Blue is probably going to go as well. That will be one of the most important parts of this race. Does Major Blue push Verifying early? Because if so, Tapit Trice, Sun Thunder, Blazing Sevens, all of a sudden they have to be involved. If Verifying gets loose, he could be tough with this short stretch at Keeneland.
Vinny, how did you see the Bluegrass paying out from a pace perspective?
Yeah, I saw the same thing Mike saw. There's really not much pace in here, and if Tapit Trice doesn't break well again today, he really does look vulnerable from that aspect, between the rail and just his history of not breaking well. I am expecting Blazing Sevens, though, to sit a little closer than he tried to at Gulfstream. I think he's I don't know why. I feel like Chad every couple of years has a horse like this that doesn't really like Gulfstream, and then he ships them to Keeneland, and they run much better. He did it with Good Magic, so I'm expecting Irad to keep blazing sevens within a couple lengths of the lead early, and we'll see what happens.
Trying to kiss up to the host, dropping the Good Magic vibes there. Yeah, this Fountain of Youth effort wasn't terrible. Did go on to win the Bluegrass Stakes and get second to, well, he faced Justify. It wasn't his fault. He was facing the Triple Crown winner. Dr. Tang, yesterday we saw Louise Saez with Julia Shining try to make her more forwardly placed early, and she was a horse that in the past went to the rear and just kind of lugged along, almost kind of like Tapit Trice, similar style. I think Tapit Trice a little bit better turn of foot. He tried putting her close to the pace in the Ashland, almost turned into a victory, though. Forget the fact that we don't like any of those horses in that race. Are you agreeing with Mike that if Tapit Trice sits closer to the lead somehow, that's the only way he has a chance to win?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the races the past 2 days, I mean, it's a short sample size, but it seems like you have to be probably in the first tier of horses probably win here. Nobody's closing from out of the clouds. So if he's way back, it's going to be hard to make up that distance in the short stretch, especially at Keeneland.
So we got Tapit Trice at even money right now, verifying 7-2. To me, that's a pretty fair price. I was hoping he would float up from 3-1. He was my top pick here, and I really didn't want to swallow that price. Let's talk about some long shots, because outside the three horses we talked about, Tapit Trice, verifying, blazing sevens, it's double digits all over the place. So Mike, give us your long shot. If people want to on the show, they want to play an exacta, if they want to do maybe a backwheel exacta, put your favorite a low price horse in second and try and get a bomb home on top, who's the horse they should use?
Well, it's Kenny McPeek's world, and we're all just living in it, right? Sun Thunder, the 7, Mendelssohn's March, the 11. Those are the two that are double digits right now that are the most interesting to me. Sun Thunder, I think, has showed it before, but it's interesting that Hernandez jumps over to Mendelssohn March. That's generally McPeek's go-to guy sitting out there at the 11 post. They both need the setup, and that is my biggest concern with both of them. However, they both could pretty easily run into the try or the super and help kind of blow it up underneath. I'm a big fan of that $5 try with a favorite on top or a shorter priced horse on top, and then playing 3 prices or 2 prices underneath. That might be the best way to attack this style of race, because I don't see a big bomb ending up on top. But if you're looking for a price underneath, to me, the 7 Sun Thunder, the 11 Mendelssohn's March, and possibly the 4 Classic Car Wash, the 3 that I would think about.
Vinny, what about you?
I really like the 6 Scooby Quando as my long shot to finish underneath. He doesn't run bad races. He's not usually a threat to win, but he doesn't run bad races. They scratch him out of the race at Turfway to point here. I feel like they got to think he's good if they're willing to pass that up to run in the Bluegrass. Kind of like the McPeek horses, Mike said, he needs a setup, but he's a big price and he seems like he always fires. So I like him underneath for tries and supers. I don't know if he can get into the exacta situation, but I'm going to use him in it.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring up that they skipped the Jeff Ruby Stakes, a track where he raced well at Turfway Park, to show up here when he brings Race Kane. Ben Colebrook, same trainer, brings Race Kane, the Gotham Stakes winner, leaves Aqueduct to come here to this spot and try a new track and this distance as well. So it'll be very curious to see how the 2 Colebrook horses line up. Dr. Tang, you've been, like I said, you hit that pick 5 with a bunch of prices all over to kick things off at Keeneland today. Who is your go-to for a price?
I like Sun Thunder as well. I use that in my tournaments as well. I mean, 10-1 now, overlay at 13-1. I think he runs well every time. I mean, but he has seconditis, but to use on the under in the second or third spot, I think he's at a very good price right now.
Yeah, he's sitting there at 13-1. Makes you nervous with the way that the track has been playing for dirt horses, that you need to be closer. But if there is a collapse and a lot of question marks surrounding several of these horses in this field, can they even handle the distance going 9 furlongs? You know the Sun Thunder is going to be showing up later. You just would expect it to happen. So he's got that going for him at least. Well, I was seeing in the chat earlier, Santa Anita, not watching the feed because we're talking about Keeneland, but there was a horse that fell and threw the jockey. Apparently they're both doing okay, just slipped on the grass. So that is excellent news. Good to see there. Cancer's calling, Dr. Tang. Better
It was
answer.
an ugly spill too. I'm glad to hear that
Was
they're
it?
both doing fine. It was a rough spill. The jockey got tossed probably about 10 feet off the horse. So
Ooh.
good news there at Santa Anita.
And Truth Exposed, hearing about how Hayes Strike is going to do. Mike, Hayes Strike, the other McPeak in here, 52-1. I mean, if you want to play a McPeak at a price, Hayes Strike, why not take a shot with him? Is that a horse that you're saying absolutely doesn't hit the board, or do you like it for Truth?
Not one for me. The price, obviously 52-1, not bad there. You get James Graham in the irons for Kenny McPeek, but this one is one where you got to get creative, or as we know, Truth occasionally may hit the wacky tacky there. That is the other way you can get the horse at 52-1.
Well, Truth for the try box is going to go 1-6-11, boxing up with Scooby Quando and Mendelssohn's March. We got that going for us. Trying to take a look. Nizzle plays likes 1-3-11. So yeah, using the two prices with, or two short prices with Mendelssohn's March as well. Dr. Tang be right back. He's a cancer call. You can't hang up on cancer when they call. So he'll be right back here. A few minutes to post. We'll go back here, Rodney. This was big news earlier this morning. Go Rocket Ride scratching out of the St. Anita Derby. My top pick for that race. Mike's top pick. Vinny, you might have had him as a top pick as well. I loved his chances, lone speed. It's unfortunate because the horse has a lot of talent and a lot of ability. And also, Flavian Pratt gave up riding at Keeneland today to go ride that horse at St. Anita. And he's probably sitting there going, really? You had to get sick today? So, yeah, he spiked a fever. Hopefully he'll be fine. Just can't handle that. Ed Burke in the chat. Ed Burke, yesterday on the live show that we were doing, nailed a couple of really nice plays, including Mustache in the Appalachian, yeah, in the Transylvania. What was yesterday? One of those two races was yesterday. Transylvania was yesterday. He hit that one. He's going to go bombs away here. He's going to go 7-2, which is Sun Thunder, clear the air all, and then rolling it back with Sun Thunder all and clear the air there. We haven't talked about clear the air. He scratched out of the race at Aqueduct, the wood, to come here, just kind of like what Race Kane is doing. Mike, any love at all or any interest at all in clear the air, the two horse?
No, not really. I mean, to me, this is a pretty straightforward race. I feel like this almost feels like the Florida Derby in a way, right? Where you have two horses who I think you have the best horse in Tapit Trice, just like we had the best horse in Forte. You had Mage, who had the pace advantage, but then didn't break and things got weird. Still ended up working out running second, but Verifying has that pace advantage today. It feels very similar in that sense to me. After those two, you're kind of stabbing at anyone. So I wouldn't talk you off anyone outside of those two, but for me, Clear the Air, Hayes Strike, Scooby Quando, they're all kind of those horses where I'm not all that interested in playing them. I would rather take a shot with Sun Thunder, Blazing Sevens, Mendelssohn March. But after those first two, you can really go any direction here, and I don't think it's wrong.
It's a son of Ransom the Moon, who was a two-time winner of the Bing Crosby Stakes at Del Mar, beat Roy H. both times. I freaking hate Ransom the Moon as a horse, but definitely a sprinter. So I'm not sure a mile and an eighth if this horse really wants to go that far. His one victory, main special weight win on the Turfway Park Synthetic, going 6 furlongs. So not so excited about him. He was running behind Race Kane and Scooby Quando. So if you like Clear the Air, maybe you should really like those ones. Chris Milo says 6-7 exactor for the Balloon, Scooby Quando, and Sun Thunder. We could see what happens there. What are we at here? I got to pull up the feed. I'm bouncing.
We're walking into the gate.
Walking into the gate. All right, top picks. We'll run through it, and then we'll talk about the race as it happens. Mike, top pick.
I'm going to go with Tapit Trice, although at these prices, I would bet Verifying and not Tapit Trice.
Verifying for me. Vinny?
I have Tapit Trice as my top pick, but at these prices, I would use Blazing Sevens at, 5-1 right now?
Dr. Tang, as they're about to break.
Verifying, and then second, Sun Thunder.
They're off. The 2 asked for a lot of speed, as is the 9 we expected to go. That's Major Blue. He's going to actually sit third. The 2 clear the air, cleared everybody. He's going to have the lead going into that first turn. Verifying sit outside of him. Maybe not the worst thing for Verifying if you were supporting him. I like that he's got a little bit of a target and he's got everybody behind him. Tapit Trice is sitting mid-pack, off the rail, but mid-pack, definitely not at the rear, guys. Mike, you said Tapit Trice is your pick. You've got to love that Saya has put him into the race a little bit.
I actually love the pace. Yep. To me, that's the biggest advantage here for Tapit Trice. We talked about how the 3 might be lone speed. Well, the fact that the 2 clear the air goes and kind of pushes the 3. The 3's not able to get the rail, has to be 2 wide. The 9 pushes out 3 wide. That really stepped it forward. And now we're seeing Tapit Trice make an interesting mid-race move here. So he is now third or fourth, 4 wide, but within
Yep.
2.5, 3 lengths of the lead.
Striking distance. Yeah.
He's got Verifying and Tyler Gaffleon's butt right in his sights there to go after him too. This is a great spot. The 8-horse Blazing Sevens is ranging up right behind him. Those blinkers seem like they helped him at least get into the game here, Vinny. Blazing Sevens, you got to like what you're seeing here.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting a better effort today. We'll see what happens the rest of the way. Still.
Yeah, Verifying's got the lead. They're at the 5/16 pole. Tap It Trice about to pass him, and Blazing Sevens looming one. He's got the trip. If Blazing Sevens is good enough, he'll get him.
Verifying hasn't asked yet.
Yeah.
Come on, Verifying. Come on, Verifying.
3-1.
Come on.
Yeah, it's a distance problem for Verifying.
Yep.
He's going to get him.
He's going to get him.
Oh, come on, Verifying. Come on, Verifying. Jigging. Ah, damn it. He got him right there. Oof.
It's
wow.
Similar to Derby. Those are clearly your 2 best horses, and it was what order they run in, how the pace sets up, and then what you do behind them. Unfortunately, because of the saddle class, I have absolutely no clue who ran 3rd or 4th.
It was kind of a wall of horses there. There was a significant gap back to 3rd, 4th, etc.
By the saddle
race
cloth.
from both.
Say, my stream's behind. I'll see if I can get the numbers here.
Can't tell by the saddle
there you
cloth,
go.
unfortunately. Anyways.
Oops.
I
You know what?
I think the 10 got 3rd.
Let's see.
I think my stream was like 5 seconds behind yours. So
All right, I'm going to squint here.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can figure this out.
Yeah, I think Blazing Sevens got 3rd.
No,
Based
I
on
think
Silks, it was Blazing.
He looked like he faded.
No, he didn't. He got 3rd.
Did he?
Yeah, it's Blazing Sevens.
Well, it's probably enough to get him in the gate if they want it.
I think it's Blazing Seven Sun
Sevens.
Thunder. I think it's 1-3-8-7.
7.
I'm pretty formful.
Yes, and then Raised Cane got 5th, a very close 5th for Raised Cane there, the 10 horse. So 1-3-8-7-10, we're gonna call that one. Minute 50 final time for a mile and an eighth, not too bad. I'm taking a look at the fractions here right now. They came home in 12-2 flat for that final furlong at Keeneland. That's a good solid final time there, and especially for both horses there. Verifying there were so many distance question marks coming into this. Hell of an effort. I don't think he definitely goes beyond a mile and an eighth. He was definitely a little leg weary there, but he showed a lot of good fight. He had the right pace setup and everything. All right, Tap It Trice, the winner. If you liked him before going to the Kentucky Derby, you got to like him a little bit more now, right, Mike?
I like the fact that he made that middle move, a little bit closer to the pace. I think this is a pretty good performance. Look, Verifying got everything he wanted here in a lot of ways. He didn't make the lead, but he was able to sit that nice second trip, and he never really had to get asked until the top of the stretch. It's interesting watching Tap It Trice in this. Saya's worked his ass off on this horse. I mean, he was riding him in the first turn. He was riding him in the backstretch, getting him to make that middle move, and then working him through. Tap It Trice still is learning. You can watch him. He needs to still get his head in the game, but it was a pretty good performance. We actually have an objection now that just popped up as well. So the 1 and the 3 blinking here. So the winner is up for grabs. I didn't see any bumping in the stretch, so kind of surprised that we saw it. But you could tell at the end of that race. I mean, I mentioned it during the race. You could tell Verifying didn't quite want the distance, and Tap It Trice kind of did want the distance. That's better for the Derby long term because we're going to be stretching out, going an extra furlong here when we do run the Derby the first Saturday in May.
Truth Exposed in the chat was saying it looked like the 1 came over and clipped heels a little bit. I don't know if it would have been. It might have been on someone else because it wasn't far enough ahead of Verifying to get the job. If things stand right now, even if they flip them, they'll both have the enough points to get in. What do you see, Doc?
Yes, I'm sorry. They just took it off. I was looking at. They just took it off. I saw it towards the end. I guess they both came together a little bit, but I don't think they're going to take this down.
Yeah, the 3 came out more than the 1 came in. So I'd be surprised if they don't page here.
I don't see anything there.
No, there's nothing. Yeah.
One thing you can trust that I've learned from the Keeneland meet since the very first race yesterday, you can trust that the camera angle is the absolute best in the business, and they'll give you exactly what you need to see. No no dead feed, at least in this race. My goodness.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a change here. I get you have to because of the purse. You got to file the objection there if you run second like that, but there's nothing there.
So it's
Truth, you said he didn't want a mile and an eighth, not more than a mile and an eighth. You said he didn't want a mile and an eighth. I'm going to call you out on that one. I'm with Nick. Take the one down. Give me verifying. I had a win bet on him. Give me verifying back up on top. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Nick. That's all right. It seems like it would be a case of possibly Gaffleone trying to get verifying to really engage with Tapatrace because he switched to the left-handed whip in the stretch to see if he could engage him and fight back. But we'll see. You guys keep an eye on that one. I'm gonna keep rolling on here because I can't watch 17 different screens at one time. Let's see. All right. So Tapatrace is going to be, regardless of how this result goes, Tapatrace is in the gate. Verifying is going to be in the gate. It'll be Blazing Seven should be in the gate, and you would think third off the layoff, Chad Brown's going to want to send him there to the Kentucky Derby. Sun Thunder up for fourth. I'm not quite sure if he's going to have enough points off the top of my head. I know he was kind of on the bubble and he needed to get a little closer, but you know what? This is true. They look at this race, the turf race, where the 7 Pleasant Pasture got squeezed back. The fact they didn't even look at it, that they were just like, no, we're good. No issue there. I'm like, what?
I was excited because I was all over Cairo Consort. I singled Cairo Consort and everything, and I was just like, you got to be kidding me that they didn't even look at that.
What's the jockey doing? Why are we raising the flag if we're the jock on this?
Yeah,
segment, right?
I have no. And then TVG tweets the jockey cam. And it looked even worse. And then it looked even worse.
They showed it on the feed.
We're like, what are we doing?
You saw Gaffleone's hands go up and the horse throw his head, and the Javier. You see Javier look back and go, "Shit, my bad."
Yeah, I have to agree with Nick here. This is taking way longer than it should.
Right.
I mean, this is
what? It's $1 million race, right?
Yeah, but this is there is nothing there that the one.
Nothing.
Anything the 3 came out on the 1.
Yeah, I don't see.
And anytime they take, the longer they take, the more likely they're going to take him down, which is always concerning too.
Well, it means here it says 4. So as stewards for us, we're 4-0. That means the stewards are going to take it down.
Got it, Nick. Okay, so Nick was saying that Sun Thunder has 34 points coming into this. I misread your message there, Nick. But he'll get 140, 20, 10, right? So
he's in.
He should have 50, enough.
Right? Yeah.
I would say over 40. That's going to be enough.
Well, I think
no change.
No change.
Yeah, we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean,
selfishly, damn.
I would. I mean, out of the first 2 finishers, I'd much rather have Tapit Trice going forward than verifying.
Oh, absolutely. As far as going to the Kentucky Derby, listen, verifying, I think mile and an eighth was probably as far as he wants to go, right? It's just the way that he was finishing there in the stretch. And it's weird. This is another proof that genetics and breeding and horse racing is just a crapshoot because he's a son of the Triple Crown champion Justify, and he's a half brother to Midnight Bisu who could run all day on dirt. And he's like, I'm at a mile. I'm going to start waving my white flag.
He's your Ohio Derby winner this year.
All right. Any final thoughts on this? The top 2 horses, very clearly the best. Any other horses you thought were disappointing or that you want to take moving forward here? Or is everybody just like, nah, we're good, move on?
It's a very formful race. I mean, the 2 best horses ran 1-2. The 2 logical other horses, the 7 and the 8, ran right there. I thought Raise Kane actually ran a good race. It kind of validifies his previous effort. But he's grade 2, grade 3 type horse, can't fight at this level.
Raise Kane, that's a good one to talk about quickly. That he won the Gotham when that just completely fell apart. When he had, I think, 10 of the 12 horses, and they're all trying to gun for the lead, and he sat back and picked up the pieces. He didn't do that or have that same situation here, and for him to close to get up to third, or I think third is what we'll call it, for this race that on a track that you needed to be forwardly placed early. That was a good effort from him. But yeah, we'll take the top 2. Doc, was there anybody else that you saw here? We're
pretty formful. Nope.
It was Kent DeSormo who was on the Santa Anita horse, by the way, that got tossed. So he'll keep riding, and that's actually good news for me because I like the horse at a price in the next race, the Santa Anita Derby that he's got. Let's go over there, guys. Santa Anita Park, race 6. The grade 1, $750,000 Santa Anita Derby. Now a field of 8 with the scratch of Go Rocket Ride. Everybody pour one out for our poor boy, Go Rocket Ride, and Flavian Pratt. Richard Mandel, every time he's got a good one, guys, for the Derby, it's just like, and it falls apart. This is like, at least, Omaha Beach, he scratched right before the Kentucky Derby. This horse, Santa Anita. So slightly different. But Mike, that changes the pace complexion because we thought that he was going to go straight to the lead. Before I get to your top pick, who leads going into the first turn?
It's a good question. It's how do you deal with these Sunland shippers, right? I mean, that's the naturally fastest horse is probably National Treasure. And so National Treasure is the one who probably benefits the most from Go Rocket Ride scratching. I would think National Treasure wants the lead going into the turn, and he wants to be able to make sure 1 in Vermilion, he beats 1 in Vermilion to the turn. Low expectation is going to be the outside of him. That's his best route to winning. But National Treasure hasn't gone to the lead consistently when I thought he could have in the past, which makes me a little concerned about whether or not he's actually going to send here. And you got those four, the 4 and the 9, both really cheap speed. They can't win without making the lead. There's a world here where they go and National Treasure ends up sitting right behind him, and then it's when he pass horses and then hold off horses, something he's never been able to do. To me, National Treasure is the horse that should be in the lead, but the 4 and the 9 could really mess this up for him.
Yeah, the 4 he comes from a quarter horse style track in the desert in Sunland Park, and scratch off the Sunland Derby. He shouldn't have even raced in that one. He was fractured in the gate, bonked his head pretty good, and then never ran a lick. So it's good to see he shows up. That tells me he's doing better. John Velasquez, like Flavien Prat, left Keeneland today specifically to come over here and ride for the Santa Anita Derby. He's got National Treasure, but this is one of those horses, Vinny, that is a former Baffert that has had enough time away from Baffert and with the Actine that you really have to wonder, is he going to be the same horse? What did you do with National Treasure?
I put him underneath. He doesn't run bad. He just never seems to want to win at this level. I personally think Practical Move is just gonna bury this field today. I really do. I hate to say it because I was so against this horse, but the more I look at this, I think he's just gonna bury this field.
Doc, do you have the same opinion? He's getting bet like it. I mean, with no Go Rocket Ride, he's now 4-5 odds on.
Yeah, I mean, this complexion of this race changed after the scratch, so. I mean, I think it's Practical Move's race to lose. I don't see any other contenders. Maybe, I mean, see how National Treasure runs, but I think it's Practical Move's race to lose. The other contenders, I'm not high on this Japanese horse either. I know it's taking money, but I'm not high on it.
Well, and John White kind of he bet him put him at the 8-1 morning line, and he's 6-1. I think this is something that we talked about in Magic Mike show a lot. Is this horse is going to take money just because the Japanese are winning a lot of races? I mean, Ed Burke brings it up, and if he wins, I won't say will be not a surprise at all. It will surprise me because he's just coming in off of the boat and coming right to Santa Anita to win. But especially with no Go Rocket Ride, Vinny, it kind of leaves things open. Mandarin Hero, where do you put him on your tickets, if at all?
Underneath. I have him third. Yeah. I played a try, and I have him keyed for third. I mean, I think he's definitely better than some of these other runners in here, but I'm not huge on his pedigree, so I do question the distance. He's Shanghai Bobby, and I think I don't really think he wants to go 1 mile and an eighth. I think kind of at 1 mile and a 16th, you're going to see him flatten out, so.
Yeah, you saw him at the only loss that he had in his career was last time out, and it was the one time he tried 1 mile and an eighth. That was also his first start as a 3-year-old. He was coming off of a bit of a layoff, but the fact that that was what did him in, it's like, I don't know. Maybe you should have been able to get the job done. Let's run through the field here real quick. We got 15 minutes to post. The one horse is a Doug O'Neill runner. I don't get it. A recent, maiden winner at Santa Anita Park beat the 2 Dazzle Me Silver. Does anybody, you can just raise your hand. If not, anybody have any interest in this horse at all underneath? All right. No. Oh, Mike. Oh, yeah.
Mike raises hand.
Mike raises hand.
I don't think this is crazy at 30-1. I mean, if you look at the race 2 back, was favored over Skinner. And I realized didn't run quite as well. But if you watch the replay, had a terrible stumble at the start. And so if you say, okay, I'm going to use that as a building race. And then we had the stumble. We were favored over Skinner. Skinner's 5-1. Skinner ran well last time. And now you're getting 29-1 on a horse that was favored over that horse 2 races ago. And the horse stumbled and then came back to break his maiden easily in the next race. I could make a pretty good case that I don't get it should be like 12-1, 15-1, something like that. It makes as much sense in the 3rd place spot as Skinner does to me. I mean, to me, again, We have two horses who are clearly the best horses in here: Practical Move, National Treasure. So it's who are you filling out everything with? I don't get it. Makes sense. I don't get the price at 29-1 here. You like what I did there?
It's a lot of it. A lot of it's due to the. Yeah, I like it. A lot of it's due to Practical Move just taking so much money. National Treasure, 5-2 for me. National Treasure not 5-2. He's in unplayable range with that price and just not knowing what a Baffert 2 Yak Teen horse is going to be able to do. The number 2 is Dazzle Me Silver, a maiden, but 2 third place finishes so far in his career, including last out to I Don't Get It. Kind of was forwardly placed there, faded off a little bit at the end, but he was also coming from the 7 post. Now it'll be a second time routing and stretching out a little bit. He is a son of Tappert, and Indian Charlie mares have been doing really well no matter who you seem to breed him to. And Tappert, the Belmont Stakes winner a while back. Theoretically, I think he can get the distance. This is my long shot dark horse. I think I like this horse underneath in third because not only the breeding, but the DeSormo brothers, Keith DeSormo, Ken DeSormo, when they team up together in a big race like this, sometimes you really gotta look out for them. And you know, they only click at a 10%. They're 2 for 10 right now, 2 for 20. I'm sorry, riding together since Kent came back. But a 270 ROI means that they are coming home at a price. So horse, but am I the only one? Anybody else like the 2 at all to hit underneath? Mike does. Mike, you can't like all of them.
Well, if I like the 1, you got to like the 2 a little bit because the race 2 back, right? So again, I don't hate the idea of playing 5-6, 6-5 over 1-2, 1-2. And you just say, hey, if these 2 are the best of the rest, you're going to get bombs in the 3rd and 4th spot in a super and short prices up top. I don't think either of them can win, but I think both of them could hit the board. And when you have Skinner sitting there at 5-1 and Mandarin Hero sitting there at 6-1, I would rather take shots with big time prices if I'm playing the favorites up top.
Speaking of doing that, yesterday on the show, Jared Rogers hit the Superfecta in the Appalachian Stakes by playing 2 short prices over 2 long prices. I'm sorry, not that one. It was the race before, the Lafayette Stakes. Jared Rogers is keeping it going again. Put 401 on Tappet Trice, singled him in the pick 3. $40 pick 3 total. Man, Jared Rogers is on fire. You're buying dinner for like the next, I think, 3 months at this point. Really great to see that, Jared. I know you've been a big part of our show for a long time in these live shows. So keep making that Derby money early, buddy. That's really great. Alex, good to see you. Says thanks to Magic Mike for giving out amazing tickets for the Keeneland pick 5. Alex hits the pick 5 because of us. Mike, I'm glad somebody did it. You and I were kind of all over it. And I guess if you Frankenstein our tickets, it ends up working. But oof, yeah, we didn't get it. Good for you.
Pretty frustrating. I'm not going to lie. Top pick in the first race, top pick in the last race. Like you were all over that too. I left him off. It was my last one off. Obviously, the 8 horse, not that tough to get to. Like it's just a nice little sequence there. And Fortin Hill at the top added a little bit of value there, as well as Pepino, who's 5-1 too. So excellent hit there. Glad you got there.
Yeah, good job, Alex. Listen, if we say this, if we can't hit it, we're glad some of our fans do. Go Rocket Ride is the scratch. The 4-1 in Vermilion we talked about. Does anybody see him holding on to hit the board? Because we're expecting him to be forwardly placed. Is it a case where San Anita plays well enough to speed going 2 turns that he can hold on? Or is this someone you should just chuck off completely? Anybody? Mike?
No, I'm kidding. I don't like the
I was ready for this too. If you had it there. The 5 Practical Move. Somebody make the case for me how a son of Practical Joke is going to handle 1 mile and 1/8 in this race here. He's handled 1 mile and 1/16. How does he handle 1 mile and 1/8? Vinny, you make the case for me. I'm going to pick on you.
Practical Joke Practical Joke horses have been okay going distance. It's not like I don't think 1 mile and 1/16 was his limit, especially with his running style. He likes to sit right off the pace and then make a big move. He hasn't shown why he can't. He's got 1 bad race against Cave Rock, I believe. I don't have the past performances up. Dam side, like Nick Feldman said, his dam side is very good. I was not a big fan of this horse coming into the year, but he's done nothing but impress. He really has. So he got 100 buyer last time out. If he improves off that 100 buyer, he's probably gonna be clear second choice to Forte in the Derby if he wins here.
Yeah. Shoddy trying to use my words against me. Said in the last race, sometimes breeding doesn't matter. Stop it. Stop trying to use my words against me.
The thing is after you've seen it a couple times, it's hard to say the breeding is the most important thing to rely on. We just
Yeah,
saw him get a
absolutely.
mile and 16th easily. He had no issue with a mile and 16th. So you're really going to come back and say, well, that other 16th of a mile, he's just going to fall apart, and that's going to be the problem here. It's hard to say breeding is the reason now after seeing him get a mile and 16th. A mile and a quarter, okay, fine. That's another 3/16. You can make an argument that that's an issue. A mile and an eighth, it's hard to argue a mile and eighth is going to be a problem for this horse after what he just did at a mile and 16th.
Yeah, very good point. And remember, this is his only second start as a 3-year-old, so second start of the form cycle. And like Vinny said, any kind of improvement off that San Felipe, he should be a winner here. National Treasure officially making his first start for trainer Tim Yak team. We haven't seen him since he was a disappointing third as a 3-5 favorite in the Grade 3 Bob Baffert Sham Stakes. Ends up getting third by a length, but Reincarnate came back and has run pretty well at Oakland Park. He hasn't won either of the prep races there, but didn't disappoint. And Newgate came out of that, won the Robert B. Lewis before unfortunately getting hurt. He's off the trail. Did anybody put National Treasure on top now that Go Rocket Ride is out? Nobody did. All right.
I went back and forth with the 5 and 6. I mean, to me, it was nip and tuck between those two.
Hey, Nizzle Plays is in the UK. Man, I miss fixed odds. Thanks to the dude's tweet about the scratch, I was able to get more on Practical Move before the price cut. Now, see, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear, as long as he wins, I'm hoping that is the case now for you, that we end up getting to see that for you. Yeah, that's good to see. Listen, National Treasure, if there's between him and Practical Move, can we all agree this is National Treasure, the horse that doesn't hit the board between the two of them?
To miss the board, yeah. National Treasure is more likely to miss the board.
Practical, yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Although neither will, but
next up, a horse that's very popular because of his late running style. People always think, boy, Skinner's going to get there one of these times. The 7 horse is still holding at 5. It actually slipped to 5-1 now off a 4-1 morning line. This is a horse that I was very excited about when he was a 2-year-old. He exited a maiden race where he was going 5 furlongs and finished 5th, beaten 7 lengths, and that was enough for trainer John Sheriffs, who's the opposite of aggressive, to go, yeah, we're going to go to a couple of grade 1s with that horse. Clearly built to be a 2-turn horse, a son of Curlin out of a Malibu Moon mare. They need a little time to develop. Came back as a 3-year-old, broke the maiden very stylishly. Beat I Don't Get It, who we talked about. And then he came back and he was a closing third in the San Felipe. But Doc, I just don't know if Skinner's ever going to, with his running style in that Santa Anita, I don't know if he's ever really going to get the job done unless there's just a bunch of sprinters that collapse in front of him, and that's not the case today.
Yeah, I mean, the only way I can see him winning is if everything collapses. I mean, as Mike said, there's other horses in his race that you could take over him at these current odds right now. So,
Vinny, do you see Skinner doing anything more than getting up for third?
Not really, no. Unless for some reason there's a ridiculous pace up front, which I don't think we're going to see. I don't see him getting the setup that he needs with everybody else going too quick early. But he's one, though, like if he sneaks into, if he's one that if he sneaks into the Derby for some reason getting second here or something, and then the Derby's got a wicked fast pace again this year for some reason, like he's one that get a logical horse to come closing underneath. So I don't think all hope is lost for Skinner. I don't think Santa Anita is really the right track for him.
There's an update on Santa Anita, by the way, that they're off the turf and all the rest of the races for that at Santa Anita
because of that slip.
Yes.
So when he slipped, was it the Whittingham's they weren't coming down the hill, right? So it wasn't a dirt crossover slip.
No, it was in the stretch.
That's bizarre. I mean, what's funny, 3 of the 4 of us live in Southern California.
No moisture.
It hasn't rained enough for that to happen. Something's off with that turf course. I'm glad they're making that decision, at least if they think it's unsafe, but quite unfortunate, especially they have that mandatory pick 6 payout today that starts with race 7 right after the Santa Anita Derby. So that's going to affect that quite a bit there. Truth Exposed brings up a good point about National Treasure, by the way. He had a bruised foot, and that's why he missed his next scheduled start. There's no telling how he's going to run here. So that's a little concerning there. We talked about the 8 Mandarin Hero. There's not much for us to know about him because he comes from a secondary Japanese circuit, and replays are extremely hard to find for that horse. We're just going to all take a pass on him for this show. Low expectations, the 9, Umberto Rispoli, who's been I'll say ice cold. He's not quite ice cold, but he's been pretty cold. But he picks up the mount on low expectations. He returns back to Santa Anita. And he went to the Sunland Derby, finished second. Trained or owned by Redham Racing, and Mario Gutierrez gets all the first calls on Redham Racing, except they got 2 in here, so he's going to ride the rail horse instead. Guys, I don't know how you could. Does anybody have any interest in low expectations? His 2 great races came here, going a mile with Lasix against 50K maiden claimers and then 50K starter allowance. Mike, any interest in low expectations?
No, the name is excellent here. I'm very low expectations here for this horse.
Trainer Antonio Garcia, not known for getting a lot of Derby horses here quite yet. But Vinny, low expectations for the 9 horse as well?
No, I don't see him. I think the only way he can win is he gets loose on the lead and nobody else fires, which I don't see happening.
Yeah,
it would just be very bizarre if he won. I think he's really up against it.
Well, we have 3 Derby. We're in the second of 3 Derby preps we're going to cover live here, and we didn't see anything bizarre in the first race. It's either going to happen here or in the wood, but you probably think if it's going to happen at a track, it's going to happen at Aqueduct, right? Like that's the place where all the wacky shit usually happens.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting to see how much time they give the bettors here at Santa Anita Park. Because my phone just blew up with this. Hey, we're going to take everything off the turf. 3 of the late, is it 3 or 4? One of the 2 of the late pick 6 races are all on the turf. It's going to be interesting to see how long they give us between the Santa Anita Derby and that race. I think right now it's like 32 minutes to actually adjust all of these tickets. Because I know, Dr. Tang, you're shaking your head. We're both firing into this pool. It's brutal to take these races off the turf right now. I get why you're doing it. I want this to be safe. But it also makes it just a headache as a bettor if they don't give us time to adjust.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. Time to adjust. And then with the players thing, people are saving bullets for these turf races, which I was doing as well. And that kind of screws up everything right now. So I'm trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah. Race 8, amount and 8th allowance on turf with 11 runners scheduled. Race 10, the Monrovia going 6.5 downhill. That had 11 runners. And then race 11, another allowance going a mile on the turf. That had 13 entered for that one. You're going to see a lot of scratches. And you're left with a starter allowance on dirt, a Calbred race on dirt. It's probably going to go to the favorite. And then the Santa Anita Oaks that's got Feza for Bob Baffert. So it's going to be hard to find prices in there. Good luck to you guys on that one. We got 1 minute to post. We'll see if they do a little bit of a hold here. The nice thing about this being race 6 is that you don't have a bunch of pools that start here, that you have to pick a mid-card pick 4 that's going to attract some money, but we're not going to do a long Gulfstream kind of post drag. So while we're walking them up to the gate here, Mike, give me your stone cold try for the Santa Anita Derby.
I played it in the tournament. Pretty big here. 5-6-1 stone cold.
5-6-1. All right, Vinny, what is your stone cold try?
I agree with Mike. 5-6-1 for just the odds wise. I was not expecting. I knew Mandarin Hero was going to take money, but I was hoping to get double digits on him.
Doc, what about you, bud?
Hey, why are you taking my 5-6-1 as well? Gosh darn it!
What?
I don't hate the.
Did I just invite 3 mics on the show? What happened?
Wow.
All right, I'll break it up. I'm gonna keep. I'll keep practical move on top. Oof. I'm gonna get a little crazy here. I'll do 5-2-7. Give me the 5-2-7 trifecta here. Get that big 30-1 Dazzle Me Silver up there for second. See what happens. But hey, if you're joining us in the chat, let us know what you got. Truth Exposed 5-7-9. Try box. All right. Well, you're cheating out a little bit there, but practical moves, Skinner, and low expectations going for a little bit of a price play there as well. We'll see. Derby Knowledge says, I expect National Treasure to blast out to the lead. I think probably 4-6, right? Going into that first turn, Mike, is that's either 4 and then 6 off of him or somewhere in there.
It's going to be interesting to see what the 9 does too. The 4, 6, and 9 are all the 3 likely leaders. I don't see any way one in a Vermilion wins without getting the lead. So Barrios, who is an aggressive rider, I would assume is going to go to the front here. Velasquez wants the lead. I'm not sure he can get the lead. That's going to be the thing because, look, Barrios will quarter horse one in Vermilion out there if he needs to get the lead because there's no other way he wins. So the two of them and how they shake out is going to be interesting. Low Expectations has the exact same thing as One in Vermilion, but Rispoli not as aggressive. So I'm not sure that he tries to go with those two. So if One in Vermilion breaks, I think he makes the lead. National Treasure sits second.
I wouldn't be all that surprised if the two's forwardly placed as well. He's got this inside draw. Like I mentioned, he sat right off of the pace last time out, and he was breaking from post 7. Now he's post 2. A different scenario here. We'll see what happens with Kent DeSormo riding for his brother Keith. All right. Going in to the gate, final bets in. Again, if you're watching us live, thanks for joining us. Let us know in the chat which way you're leaning on this race. Plenty of ways you could go. Jared Rogers saying, I think today is National Treasure and Skinner Day. Thinks the 1 might sneak in, so you can get some prices there. The 6, the 7, and the 1. So 1, 6, 7. Mike, last week on the live show, had good luck a couple times with the 6-9 exacta. National Treasure, Low Expectations. Could you see it happen?
No. Next race. The Wood is
next
the
race.
If you're going to bet a 6-9, bet it in the Wood.
Yeah.
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 Nick Feldman going Practical Move over Skinner. Ed Burke, 478 exacta box. He likes One in Vermilion to hold on. Skinner to come late. And Mandarin Hero, from what I understand, his running style is to come late. Again, we just don't really know. Bill Derby likes National Treasure as well. Going in the gate. Good luck to everybody with all of your bets. And Doc, Mike, good luck as you try and scramble here to figure out what the hell you're going to do with those last turf races here. I will say,
man,
Mandarin
we're starting to get scratches though, which is nice.
That's Mandarin Hero not only wearing the pink 8 saddle cloth, also lots of bright pink and purple in the jockey silk. So very easy to see where that horse is going to be. Last horse is in the gate. All right. Pretty good break for all. National Treasure squeeze a little bit. 4 is going to go.
Yep.
9 wants to go with him.
Yeah, National Treasure going to sit right behind the two of the 2 cheap speeds. Gotta say the 8 more forwardly placed than I expected.
And the 2 a lot less forwardly placed than I expected. He broke cleanly, and then Kent never really pushed him. He's going to be third last going into that turn. We've got One in Vermilion leading. Low Expectations going to track outside. Practical Move right where you thought he'd be sitting there in third, a couple lengths behind. He's got National Treasure to his outside. So the 2 Yak Teen horses sitting third and fourth. Skinner sitting outside 3 wide, a little bit wide into that turn, but sitting outside the 8 Mandarin Hero. I don't get it all the way at the rear. Only Dazzle Me Silver is the only horse, only one horse behind him, and that's the 1 horse. The 4 is broken clear. 46.3. That's pretty quick.
He's
Might be over.
I was gonna say it's the only way. It was the only way they were gonna win is if they just they went as fast as they could and they somehow don't get caught. So
is this not like somehow an even better trip that Practical Move got in the San Felipe? I mean, he ranged up on the rail. He's got this 4 dead aim on him, and National Treasure's fighting 3-4 wide to keep up.
Pretty relaxed.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
look at
He hasn't
Skinner.
moved.
Skinner is making a huge move. He's going to have to go the overland route, and he's going to have to hope that that momentum carries him past Practical Move. Look out for Mandarin Hero. He's going to have the rail opening. Kimura's sitting there licking his chops. If this horse has got anything, Practical Move crosses over on him. The 8 switches out.
Here comes a 7.
Oh, boy.
Sweet.
Mandarin Hero.
He's got a shot at him.
A shot.
It's his last 16th. Does Practical Move want it?
587. It's 587.
5-8.
Dude.
Ooh.
Man,
It's
it's Practical Move
587.
dug in there. Although, I hope he's the second pick in the Derby.
Right.
No interest in betting him in another quarter.
No, he's got no more distance left in him. Yes, he sat the perfect trip, and Ramon didn't even move on him at the turn.
I think he got a little too involved in the pace. If he had known it was 22:46, I'm not sure he would have wanted to be that close. And you could tell Ramon had his heels up, so he was digging his heels up on that backstretch when Practical Move made that move himself to the inside of the 4 horse. But the problem is the Derby is probably going to be a similar style pace. So you would think that Practical Move is going to try and run a similar style race just based on how the horse likes to run. Heck of a run there from Mandarin Hero, though.
Yeah.
That to me probably gets Derma Sotogate bet even more in this Derby now.
Yep.
I would much rather use Practical Move in the Derby than I would use Tapit Trice. I think that was much better than what Tapit Trice did. I don't think Practical Move was cranked at all for that. he didn't look like he was really cranked at all. They came up on him turning for home, and he was still. Ramon didn't panic at all. I don't think he was cranked. I could be
Ramon
a
was
scare.
Ramon was
could-
confident on that horse. If you watch him when they came off
Yeah.
the turn, he suddenly realized that the rail was open and he heard the 8 coming, and that's when Ramon went, "Okay, here we go." And I think
Yeah.
the right move there, Vinny.
I don't think he was cranked though. I mean, we saw Tapit Trice in the bluegrass. I mean, he was being asked on for a while. I mean, Ramon didn't really start asking for him for like until they really hit the top of the stretch, and he thought, okay, there's a shot I might lose this, but I think he's much more impressive. I think that was a much better. I was not expecting to think that the Santa Anita Derby was going to be more impressive than the bluegrass today, but here we are.
All right. Time for overreaction. Kimura, by the way, giving Vasquez a high five or almost fell out of the saddle doing it. They showed the slow motion at the wire. I don't know if you guys saw that on your feed. That was closer than I thought it was. I was pretty confident 5.87, and then there was literally just a little nose there that got Practical Move the win. Here's where I'm going to immediately start to poo-poo Practical Move a little bit for the Kentucky Derby. A big thing for John White's Kentucky Derby strike system, if you're familiar with it, is how strongly do you finish that race? He went 13 seconds for that final furlong on a track that plays well to speed. It's fast there. Mike, let me throw it to you. You see it's pretty much 13 flat for that last furlong. Are you concerned that was slow, or do you think, as you mentioned earlier, he was chasing the pace? Did that kind of slow him down late?
I was not impressed. I disagree with Vinny. I think Tapit Trice's effort at Keeneland was much better than Practical Moves here. I hear you that he's not. He may not have been fully cranked, but there was nothing to me impressive about this. When if going into the race, I tell you that the Japanese horse almost beats him and probably should have if he got out earlier, you'd be like, oh, I don't want Practical Move in the Derby. And that's exactly what happens.
I don't know though. I mean, do you want Practical Move? Maybe he wasn't fully cranked and he almost loses to the Japanese horse who, I mean, they pointed here for a couple months and Japan's been red hot. Or do you want the horse that barely beat Verifying that we already knew couldn't get the distance and he still barely beat him?
You got a perfect trip for Verifying. And a bad trip for Tapit Trice from outside perspective. And you got a perfect trip for Practical Move and a bad trip for Mandarin Hero. I'll take the bad trip against the perfect trip versus the perfect trip.
I actually, Mandarin Hero, I think is definitely now going to move himself into being a wise guy horse if he makes the gate. If 40 points is enough, he's moved himself into being a wise guy horse. But I mean, the time itself, I think, the time itself wasn't bad.
No, time was not bad.
So that was, the Japanese horses are going to get heavily bet at this point.
Nizzle, real quick, you mentioned, there's Nizzle right there. What kind of a price did you get? I'm curious in the with your offshore odds or with your UK fixed odds. And also if you can, I'm asking you to do a lot for someone who's really nice to us. Can you see a price on Derma Sotogake? I'm curious what you guys are trading at overseas on that one. Very, very interested to see.
I would guess the Derby pools are down right now. Because we're in the middle of preps.
Overseas, maybe in UK, maybe they've got something different over there. I'm not sure.
No, they're not. Tapit Trice 6-1 right now. Practical Move 10-1. Derma Sotogake 18-1.
Yeah, that 18-1 is going to come down. Okay, Colin's in the chat. Good to see you, Colin. It says not sure that the 8 is going to make it. He's going to be on the outside looking in. There's the 40 points as it stands right now. There's always a lot of defections and injuries and things that pop up, reasons horses can't go. Verifying, maybe they just go, we're going to go to the Preakness because you can't go a mile and a quarter. The 40 as it stands right now isn't enough to get the job done, but we'll see what happens. Robert Ray says, thanks for pointing out, and this goes to Truth, thanks for pointing out National Treasure's injury. Dropped him and stuck the Japanese horse in. Solid trifecta. I clicked away. I didn't see. What were the payouts on that one? Do you guys have the tri-pay?
I haven't seen it yet.
Let's see. I got it. The try was 108.40 for the $2. So
I mean, with an even money horse that seemed like a locker, was everybody's lock to win. That's a really solid one. Oh boy. All right. Well, we're 2 down. We almost had the screwy thing happen. So that means Aqueduct. Something screwy going to happen over there, right?
Magic, give me about 5 minutes. I'm going to jump off and update the Somobombs for the pick 6 here.
Yeah, go right ahead. Go right ahead. Actually, you know what? We'll take a quick break here. We're going to go ahead and air the Vinny. We'll give each other a break here. I'm going to pull up the preview that actually Mike Somich did for us about the Wood Memorial. So give me just a second to find this on here. Vinny, let me ask you this, since it's just the two of us right now. Who is your Derby pick now that we just have one major prep race left?
at this moment, it's still Forte. I haven't seen any reason not to continue to back him yet. The Japanese, I mean, Dermis Sorgate definitely is moving up on my list, but at this point, I know the number came back soft for the Florida Derby, but a horse winning from the 11 post like Forte did, coming from multiple lengths behind at Gulfstream, that just doesn't happen. Like, that's not something that happens on a regular basis in those stakes races. So I think Forte is the real deal.
All right, we'll be back in about about 4 minutes and 54 seconds, give or take. We're gonna go ahead and play this, give ourselves a quick break. We'll be right back. Get a drink refill, go to the bathroom, and then join us for the Wood Memorial Stakes.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to RacingDudes.com. Mike Somich coming at you to preview the Wood Memorial, coming at you Saturday from Aqueduct, 100-point Kentucky Derby prep race. This is a huge one, the biggest one in New York, leading into the Kentucky Derby. And we've got quite a few of the top-tier Derby contenders who are going to be back at it, banging heads here. We'll start with your favorite, the 13 Hit Show. Draws all the way to the outside for Gary and Mary West. Brad Cox, Manny Franco sending this one out. And Hit Show looked awesome in the Grade 3 Withers last time out. Was only a 7-horse field, but Hit Show looked like the favorite that he was bet down to that day, able to run a 91 buyer, taking another step forward, 4 straight races, improving each start. The 13 post is the big concern here for Hit Show. Going 1 mile and 1/8, there's not a ton of time into that first turn there at Aqueduct. There's more time coming in the stretch. Hit Show will have to make a trip from that post. If Hit Show's able to win dominantly, it's going to be a very good sign for his Kentucky Derby chances. The number 7 horse, Arctic Arrogance, ran second to Hit Show last time we saw him in that Withers, taking the blinkers back off, which I think is a good sign for Arctic Arrogance. The distance is the concern here, but has run second twice at this 1 mile and 1/8 distance. Not sure we're going to be able to hold on for the win. I think 1 mile and 1/16 is probably the best distance for this horse, but we'll see what Arctic Arrogance is able to do here. All right, next, let's head to the rail. Let's take a look at the maiden, Dreamlike, coming in for the Todd Pletcher barn here. Jose Ortiz going to pick up the mount. Rode him last time at Gulfstream Park, going 1 mile and 1/16 over that course. Horse ended up running second to Empire Strikes Fast, who's a short price favorite that day, and now steps up into graded stakes competition directly off a second place in the maiden special weight. Tells you exactly what Todd Pletcher thinks of this horse. 7-2 on the morning line, should be part of the early pace presence, and has no issue here from a distance perspective. This is a gun runner out of a Tappet mare that sold for $975,000 and comes in with the tied for best buyer last out. The 91 buyer there in that maiden special weight, second best buyer, or actually tied for the top, with Hit Show, who also ran a 91 in the Withers there last time. So very much a live maiden here headed into Aqueduct for the Wood Memorial. Let's take a look at the number 5 horse, Slip Mahoney. Brad Cox, Dylan Davis sending this one out. The last time in the Gotham was a really interesting race for Slip Mahoney. There was a ton of pace in that spot. Slip Mahoney was supposed to be part of it, misses the break, ends up way back, makes a huge run to run up for the top 3 finish. But I wouldn't expect that same style again today. I think Slip Mahoney is going to be more forwardly placed here, and that should be beneficial in this spot, as there's not a ton of high-end speed for Slip Mahoney to face here. I think Slip Mahoney has a big shot in there as well, sitting on the board at 6-1 on the morning line. Then we got to talk about the 4 General Banker. All General Banker does is run third in these races. Ran in the Gotham, ran in the Withers, ran in the Jerome, finished third in all 3, and all 3 times at a big number. General Banker is a horse that tries hard and will most likely be in that 3rd, 4th, 5th spot. So if you're playing single race bets, the horizontals, make sure you include General Banker there in third or fourth. I think he'll, again, hit the board and, again, do it at a nice price. All right, let's go with the picks here. Look, I was really impressed with Hit Show last time out. I think you got to put Hit Show on top here, so I'm going to do that with the 13. I'm really scared about this post. I wouldn't blame anyone who wants to leave Hit Show off here. I think that Hit Show is the best horse, but has the worst post position. If Hit Show wants to be a Derby contender, though, you've got to win this race. You've got to win it impressively. So I'll put Brad Cox's Hit Show on top from that 13 post. I'm going to put Dreamlike on the inside, the one horse in second here. Look, this is a maiden. I realize that, but Pletcher is doing this for a reason. I like the speed from the rail at a course that often favors speed anyway going 2 turns. So give me Dreamlike for second. I'll take Arctic Arrogance for third. I think Arctic Arrogance is a talented horse. Just may not want this whole mile and an 8 distance. I do think removing the blinkers helps. So give me Hit Show 13 on top, the 1 Arctic Arrogance in second. I'm sorry, the 1 Dreamlike in second, the 7 Arctic Arrogance in third. I don't hate General Banker to hit the board as well. So make sure you sprinkle in a little bit of 4s there on your bets. Thank you very much for checking out this preview of the Wood Memorial. Make sure you check out racingdudes.com for previews of all the major stakes races, including all 3 of the Kentucky Derby preps coming up this weekend. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you at the track.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
There we go, Vinny. Do you believe in miracles? We'll find out here in the Wood Memorial Stakes at New York. You're more of an upstate guy. Have you ever been to Lake Placid and visited the old 1980 Olympic spot?
I have, actually. I have. I've been to Lake Placid 1 time.
Wow, Aaron doesn't even live in New York. He's been there more times.
Yeah, it's about it's a little over. It's like between like 2.5 and 3 hours from my house. I'm not a huge fan of the cold. I mean, really, I live in New York for the summer, so I'm not. It's cold up there, so not my favorite place to go.
Dr. Tang is back as well. Don't worry, I won't ask you if you've been to New York. I'm going to guess. I'm just going to guess based off of knowing you. You're probably not a huge hockey fan, so you probably don't care that much about the Miracle on Ice site, do you?
What? No. Sure.
Sylvain, the Canadians always get defensive about this. Canada wasn't there. That doesn't matter. Jared Rogers, stop hating on Tapit Trice. Practical move will not last the distance of the Derby. So Tapit Trice showed a lot to me. Really loved how he did in the that forwardly placed motion.
I think Tapit Trice is going to win the Belmont. I don't think we're going to have a Triple Crown winner this year. I think he's your Belmont horse. I don't see him getting as easy of a trip in the Derby. That was not really a fast bluegrass, and while he was more forwardly placed, I don't think he's going to have what he did today. He's going to be about 14th or 15th in the Derby. He's not going to be in that that second flight like he was today. And that's my big issue with Tapit Trice still. But I think he's going to be a great. One more. If he runs well in the Derby, I think he just goes right to the Belmont. I don't see him going Preakness. I think he's going to be a very good horse, though. That progression reminded me a lot of what Taprit did. So that's kind of where I'm leaning with Tapit Trice. I still don't think either winner we saw today was better than Forte. So that's where I'm at. I don't think Practical Move will win the Derby, but I think realistically with how his running style is, I think he'll have a much better chance, especially since now his odds are going to drift up, because he probably should be second choice, and I don't think he will be anymore. I think that Japanese horse will be a second choice.
I cannot wait to see how that betting handles. And listen, the discourse for we got 4 weeks till the Kentucky Derby. The discourse on that's going to be interesting. We'll see how many more times Jared gets called a racist just because he doesn't like a horse from a different country, and not for any reason other than the horse, isn't racing in America. But hey, we'll move on here. The Wood Memorial Stakes, the third and final Kentucky Derby prep race. Thanks everybody who's been joining us so far today. We got one last race, so we can get you some winners here. Field of 12 here, and Hit Show is way down at the bottom. He's not showing up. But we've got Field of 12 after the scratch of the 6, Clear the Air, who we saw very briefly in the Bluegrass Stakes on screen. The number 1, Dreamlike, is the first of 2 maidens in here from Todd Pletcher. 7-2, Vinny. Can you believe the price on a maiden 7-2 in this race?
No, I really can't.
Oh, sorry.
It's got you all choked up.
Yeah, I just went down. Whiskey just went down the wrong pipe. No, I liked Dream. Like, I liked him looking at the past performances, and then when they came out with the odds, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, I knew it wasn't a strong field, but like, I was expecting at least like 8-1 on this one. It sucks. I'm still on him, but yeah, I'm not thrilled with the price.
And now live odds are showing 3-1 on this DACA. By the way, we got another Dr. Tang offspring making his appearance. Last week we got Sienna, and now we got the newborn little boy on there. So did you have any interest in the one at that short price here?
No, I do not. Absolutely not.
I'm with you.
Actually, yeah, I didn't think it would be down to 3-1. I mean, this race, I was looking for chaos. So actually, I actually thought this would, fall apart like Bourbonic type thing last year. So I actually like the 9 and the 11.
Yeah, you bring up a great point. A couple years ago, Bourbonic, a maiden, wins the race, and a Todd Pletcher exacta in the Wood Memorial Stakes. Bourbonic, I think, was around 86-1. So not getting quite that kind of price on Crouppy.
Right.
Definitely not on Dreamlike. But Kendrick Carmouche aboard for the Bourbonic. Got the win that day. He's riding Crouppy here. Crouppy, by the way, named after a horse. I'm so sorry. Named after the late J.J. Crouppy, who was he broke a lot of the best Bob Baffert horses. He broke American Pharaoh. He was known for always dreaming. Pletcher would send him horses. He was known for being an excellent horseman and getting 2-year-olds to or get them ready to develop as 2-year-olds. So the late J.J. Crouppy, that's who this horse is named after. And if you're someone that likes to play a horse that's got named after someone, especially someone who's passed, that has a lot of significance, Crouppy is the way to go. It feels like he's going to be a graded stakes winner with what we've seen from him in his efforts. Just needs to get his damn head straight. And I understand why they don't want to geld him because of how much money they spent and their high hopes. It almost feels like if they just gave Crouppy the little snip, maybe he'd get his shit together. Mike, what do you think about Crouppy?
You're muted, Mike.
Muted.
Wasn't me. Me.
Well, I'm trying to do like 5 things. She's interesting. He needs the pace set up, though. I updated the pick 6, pick 5, and pick 4. Everything's ready to go over there on racingnews.com if you want to check that out. For Santa Anita, mandatory payout. Should be about $3 million in this next race. Yeah, look, Crouppy, he needs the pace set up to be able to run into it. He may actually get it here. I do think there is enough speed that it could create a situation where Crouppy could run up. I like Dreamlike more, but I was listening to you guys here in the background. 3-1 is a little bit short. I was expecting this horse to be a little bit higher. This is a tough race because this is the one that you could really see chaos of the 3 because Hit Show, who is your best horse, is sitting out there in the 13 post. He's got something to prove today. If he runs well, he becomes one of those top 5 Derby horses. But, man, it's tough to win from the 13 at Aqueduct.
Yeah, it's going to have his work cut out for him for sure. We just saw, by the way, the 11 horse go by. Classic catch for Todd Pletcher. Another horse that is owned by the Whisper Hill farm, Mandy Pope, got the same silks as Tappet Trice, who got the win in the Bluegrass Stakes. And this is a horse that's exiting a 1 1/8 win at Gulfstream Park on the dirt, a very nice win. But his last 2 races, both on Lasix, and neither one of them was he really able to progress his buyer at all. He's still sitting on career best buyer of 79. We'll talk about him since I brought it up. The classic catch for me, I cannot get over the fact that he was one of the 2 Pletchers that was highly hyped in that Tampa allowance 2 back, and neither of them could even get up for second. It was a 4-horse field, and Prairie Hawk was able to get the win. So I won't forgive him for that. Can't use him here, but you've got the Silks going forward. And Classic Empire showed with Angel of Empire that his horses, like he did, like to run all day. The number 2 Shadow Dragon for Bill Mott, a New York bred, returns here. We saw him in the Holy Bull. Mike Somich liked him there and almost caught our boy Rocket Can at 34-1. Came back in the Fountain of Youth Stakes. Similar trip. Faced Forte. Absolutely no match for anything here. So they return here. Mike, I'll ask you, since you liked him in the Holy Bull, any interest in Shadow Dragon, or are you going to pass on him in a 1 1/8?
I think he's catching a weaker field here. I think that this is an easier spot for him at 22-1. If you're looking for a big price, I wouldn't be shocked if Bill Mott's the one who pulls the upset here. To me, him and the 10 Uncle Jake are the 2 horses at monster numbers that I'm interested in. So I don't hate the 2 at 22-1. And if you are expecting chaos here and you do want to say, okay, it's going to be the 13 that can't win out of that post, the 2 is one of the more logical horses at a big number.
The 3 Knox, this is a Florida bred, one of several Saffie Joseph shipped up here, just kind of on a hope and a prayer to see what we can happen at Aqueduct. Zero interest in this horse. Anybody? No. Okay, yeah, we'll pass on Knox. He's 81-1 for a reason. Also, Jose Gomez aboard, not a jockey that I'm going to be using a whole heck of a lot. Only hitting at 8% so far this year. General Banker. Mike, you said it in the preview that we played. All he does is like to run third in these races. You can find a lot worse horse at 40-1 to fill out your try, right?
Yeah, this one just keeps hitting the board, man. I think fourth is probably more likely today than third. But if you're playing supers here, I think the 4 makes a ton of sense in the 3rd and 4th spots.
We'll move on. Slip Mahoney, and this is one I want to go to you, Doc, about because a horse that barely lost to Tappet Trice, 2-bat going to mile at Aqueduct. Then beats Krupe, but again, just by a head. So a narrow victory, but a hard-fought one because he was pressured every step of the way, and Krupe came up late. Goes to the Gotham, completely missed the break and rallied for second. What kind of a trip do you see for Slip Mahoney, and do you have any interest in him at 9-2?
9-2 on top could be. I mean, I like that better than Dreamlike, but I think he's got a shot today. Gets a better break. He's got Dylan Davis back on board. Son of Arrogant, that Gotham, he closed very well. So if this race falls apart, I think he's a contender. I mean, I don't think he has to completely fall apart. I think he'll be mid-pack if he breaks well, and he has a shot.
Vinny, you liked Krupe. I know in the guide you put him third in your ranking for the Wood, but you didn't put Slip Mahoney up there. Why is that?
I know he missed the break last time, Slip Mahoney, but he still had no reason not to win that race, in my opinion. That field was not great. It really wasn't. I just, you're giving me double the odds on Krupe today over Slip Mahoney. I think I trust Todd Pletcher in this race a lot more than any trainer. So, and I also think just finishing underneath, I think there's a better chance of Krupe finishing well than Slip Mahoney being able to finish well again. I think that was kind of a result of a very bad field in the Gotham.
This 6 horse Clear the Air scratches 7 Arctic Arrogance has only ever finished first or second in his races. He's going to have to pass this mile and an eighth test again. Last time he was at mile and an eighth. Hit Show beat him by a few lengths, but Arctic Arrogance still well clear of third. Mike, you and I both have him in second in this race behind Hit Show. Are you still feeling confident about that at 7-1?
Arctic Arrogance is going to show up and run. I just don't think Arctic Arrogance can win. And so to me, the 2nd and 3rd spots are the most likely here for Arctic Arrogance. Mile and an eighth, a little bit of a concern, but has run second twice at this distance. Got beat pretty good by Hit Show last time, but you could kind of see that coming based on the way that the race was run. Going to be tough to flip the script here. Arctic Arrogance should get a pretty nice trip, though. Should be able to sit right behind the speed and make a run. I would expect hits the lead, top of the stretch. It's whether or not we're going to be able to hold on. I would lean toward no, but it's 7-1. Not a terrible price on Arctic Arrogance.
The 8 Lord Miles for Saffie Joseph, another one I think we're all going to chuck here, kind of here on a Lord and a Wing and a Prayer. The number 9 Krupe we talked about. Number 10 Uncle Jake, Javian Toledo, Brittany Russell already teamed up for their first Grade 1 wins ever with our boy Doppelganger Mike earlier in the Carter handicap here. Anybody interested in Uncle Jake? You raise your hand if you're interested in him to hit the board at all.
I think you can.
I don't hate this one at a price. Yeah, Vinny, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't think it's like unreasonable, especially at the price that this horse can hit the board. I just don't. I feel like it's my same logic with Krupe. Like I can see them hitting the board. I just don't see them actually being a threat to actually win the race unless something like ridiculous happens.
The buyers aren't great. This is a former Bob Baffert horse that transferred to Brittany Russell for his second career start, stretched out to a 1-turn mile at Laurel. A very dominating win, never really looked tested there. This is a much tougher, even though we're kind of poo-pooing the field, it is a much tougher field. But Son of Uncle Mo, Harlan's Holiday Mare, the distance should probably help this horse. We'll see what happens. We'll go real quick here. Last 2, Mr. Swagger, Juana Villa, Victoria's Ranch. I don't know that we have any interest in this horse. Hit Show 13. Doc, make the case for or against Hit Show at 8-5 from the I guess the 12 post since the 6 scratched.
Too short of a price for me. I mean, he's way outside. I mean, if he runs this race and wins it, he'll be a contender. But I would not take him at this price.
Vinny, Hit Show to win.
If he's as good as advertised, he wins. I don't think it matters how good anybody else runs. If he's as good as they've been saying he has been all year, he wins.
Yeah, you. By the way, in the betting Bible, Vinny was the only one to not put Hit Show on in first. He put him second and has Dreamlike first. The horse, the horse on the rail. Boy, you can tell we're getting to the end of the show here. All right, Mike Somich, you're exacted for the Wood Memorial as we hit the gate.
Man, I don't want to play. I think it runs 13-7, but if I'm gonna bet, I'm looking for numbers that I like here. I'm gonna go with the 2-7 exacta box.
Ooh, spicy! 24-1 on the 2. Vinny, where are you going?
I'm going 1-7. I'm hoping that Hit Show just can't do it from the 13, and I get a price.
Doc?
5 over the 911.
5 over 911. Ooh, going to price hunting. You know what? I will agree with you. I'm going to go 5-7. Give me Slip Mahoney over Arctic Arrogance. Hit Show can only do third. And speaking of which, Slip Mahoney going in the gate there. Arctic Arrogance looks like our boy Mike is going to be the last one to get in the one of the last ones to get in the gate. Slip Mahoney also saying, I don't want to go in there. Remember what happened last time? I didn't like it. All right.
Don't hate the 13 over 2-7-10, 2-7-10, 2-7-10 super either.
There we go. Everybody throw it in there. Want a lot of love for the 1 as well. 5 to show. Good luck to everybody. We're still waiting for Hit Show. Damn it. Every time I think that we've got all the horses in, then they show another horse screwing around behind the gate. This should be the last one.
Where does Hit Show want to be? Like 2 wide, 7th place, something like that in the first turn?
Yeah, probably 2 or 3 wide, just mid-pack.
All right. Dreamlike's in. We're off. And boy, Dreamlike last in was about the first one off. Mike, Arctic Arrogance went right to the front. We didn't talk about this. Jose Lescano take off the rest of the mounts. So we've got Jorge Vargas Jr. riding us. And it looks like he was told, go, 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 and don't look back. He's on the lead right now.
And the 10 doesn't break. That's huge because the 10 Uncle Jake I thought was going to be the pace. Now rushing up 6
Now
wide.
he's coming, yeah.
Now he's coming.
Hit Show 5 wide into that first turn, sitting in 5th or 6th. Arctic Arrogance should let this. Well, let's see what this 10 does. I mean, you almost should let him go here.
Yeah.
Because he's going to go no matter what.
Right.
The way that he pressed around that first turn, he's going to go. We'll see if he
run out of
it up or not.
Gas real
He didn't give Javen Toledo much of a choice on that. He just kind of said,
no,
I want to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I noticed that it was a little tight going in the first turn. Hit Show and Slip Mahoney, a couple horses who had to check up a little bit. But they seem like they've recovered. Hit Show's going to have a wide trip all the way around here. Slip Mahoney at least saving lots of ground. Arctic Arrogance back with a firm command of the lead. Vinny, your Pletcher horse at 3-1 is sitting there in second. He's going to make a 3-wide move here to the lead.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, he's a maiden.
Here comes Hit Show. He's trying, and the 8's coming too as well. Lord Miles.
Yeah, Lord Miles is moving. Slip Mahoney finally getting going. It took him a while as the 10 completely quits out. Hit Show's struggling, though, and he's stuck behind the rail horse, or the 1 horse, Dreamlike. Here we go. Arctic Arrogance and Dreamlike. Can Hit Show power pass? Can he get up there? Arctic Arrogance fights back.
Arctic Arrogance.
Lord Miles is running a monster race here.
Miles
We poo-pooed him, but
Hit Show is going to do it, though. This is a hell of an effort if Hit Show.
What an effort.
I don't think. Oh my goodness! What are we gonna get here? Is the 8? Lord Miles just won the Wood Memorial.
Of course
8,
he did.
13, 1,
9-1.
We knew it was chaotic.
13.
This
You're
was
right,
the
Doc.
race.
We told you chaos. We just gonna get right the chaotic horse.
8-13. Arctic Arrogance held on for 4th.
Oh God. Paco and Safi. My goodness.
Yeah, gross. Gross. Absolutely gross.
Wow.
That is.
Yeah. I'm trying to get my PPs low so I can look at this.
What?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
What do
didn't even
you?
look at
Well, so Lord Miles, I'll tell you this: going into the Holy Bull was a horse I was interested in because he won his debut pretty impressively, going 6 furlongs. Went to the Mucho Macho Man and had came from way off of it and closed into what was a kind of a falling apart, slow stumble bunny pace. He had nothing in the Holy Bull and just no effort with Irad aboard. And then he came back to the Tampa Bay Derby and he had nothing there. Can't see this one coming, guys.
Andrew Champagne had it.
Champagne had him. Nice. I'll
Champagne,
have to,
yeah, he liked him and thought he had a chance to move forward today at a big number. I hope he actually played it. Because
Give me
that's
one
a hell of a
second. My
ball.
son just watched that race and spit up all over himself. Give me 1 second.
You're fine, Doc. Yeah, we're two dads on this show. We understand.
Yeah, I almost spit up all of myself in that race too.
Lord Miles.
Unreal.
Now,
That was-
I was impressed with Hitchow's effort there, though.
That was
Like,
a big effort.
I'm not sure how much I like. They're also going to probably look at this. Yeah, there's a bunch of bumping here in the lane too between these top three. But he was 5 wide, getting pushed out the first turn, was wide around the second turn, had a ton of trouble, got knocked around in the stretch. Like, I'm not going to downgrade Hitchow for this effort just because of how hard he had to try to be able to do it. That being said, the time is not good.
No. And it's like, we knew he had a bad post, so like we knew he had the run big, and it's like you can't like it's hard to hold it against him, but at the end of the day, he still lost to Lord Miles. Like
So
that's
they're
not
showing
good.
the head on right now, and there's definitely contact. The 1 came out, the 8 came down multiple times. Hitchow got beat the F up. I don't know between the 1 and the 8 who's more responsible, but just and I didn't bet Hitchow, so this isn't me talking from that perspective. Can you just take down Lord Miles, put him in, call him and Dreamlight Coast second, and give Hitchow the win? That's just, that poor horse just had no favors.
I mean, he got banged around good there. I'm not sure how you can take down the 8 because all 3 of them were playing bumper cars.
Yeah,
But man, there's no way you can deny there was contact on this one.
Yep.
And then right near the end, the Hitchow kind of came out and hit Lord Miles. Is like, you mother effer, stop doing that to me.
But Hitchow's hind legs got bumped probably 4 times down the lane there. He's just boop, 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 all over.
Yeah,
the place.
because the one comes out initially. Hitchow goes into the Paco goes right back in. Yeah, that's a messy stretch run, but I don't think they can change anything there.
I mean, it sucks for Hitchow because he's in the middle.
Yeah,
He gets it from both sides.
Right. I don't see. I mean, yeah, I don't see how they flip that.
If Hitchow hadn't close to the wire, if he hadn't come out and pushed back on, tried to push the 8 back out, I think he'd have a little bit more of a case, slightly more of a case. Oh,
the
boy.
issue
hey,
is
everybody in the
though,
chat. We're all stewards right now. Everybody in the chat, tell us what you would do in this one.
I feel like your issue though is that if you take the 7 down or the 8 down, I feel like you have to put him third because he caused Hitchow to bump into the 1, who finished right behind Hitchow. So I feel like you have, because of how close the finish is, if they changed it, and that's why I don't think they're going to change it. I think they're just gonna. I think they're gonna just let this go because I don't think you can justifiably move the 8 down to second after watching the head on, and he bumps Hitchow right into the 1, and then the 1 comes back out and hits him. But since Hitchow finished in front of the 1, it's not like you can just move the 1 to third. So I think they just leave it.
Can we add an S in front of Hitchow? That was a mess.
This could take a while too.
Yeah,
The wood always does this. It's unbelievable.
So somebody just said Manny Franco claimed multiple fouls.
multiple assaults.
Why not? Exactly. Just
well, to be fair, he was fouled multiple times.
True.
Yeah, I don't see them moving.
How about we just say all 3 of them naughty, naughty, naughty. None of you deserve to win, and we just bump them down to second, third, and fourth.
Well,
and we bump up arrogance.
I don't think 40 points is going to be enough without some, defections. But arguably right now, you have a horse like Dreamlike who, if he for some reason gets put up in the second here, is in the Derby, and you have a horse like Lord Miles Laura Miles is only getting the Derby if he stays up. Like, he's not going to have enough. Like, he's probably 40 points is probably not going to be enough. So, I mean, this is realistically, I mean, his DQ is probably going to cost somebody. If there is a DQ, it could cost somebody a Derby spot.
I feel like Dreamlike started it. And if Dreamlike started it, I don't think you can change it.
Yeah, I agree with that because he did come out. He did come out first, but I mean, of course, Paco had to come back in. Like,
yeah,
right.
Well,
like,
the one comes out, bumps the 13, hits the 8. The 8 then comes back in, and that's where it creates more of the issues. And to be fair to the 13, got hit by both sides. It's just I'm not sure that you can take the 13 or the 8 down because the one started the chain reaction on the outside.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you can either. I think they leave this alone. Unfortunately, it's a very bumpy stretch ride, but I don't see them changing anything here. I definitely think they leave this up. Man, Arctic Arrogance though. I mean, you probably the Pat Day Mile maybe seems probably more of his speed.
This came up yesterday on the live show when it was about the Ashland, and someone said that mentioned that Mark Cassidy was trying to tell everybody that Wonder Wheel was going to win, and I kind of said like, listen, no change, officially no change.
Yeah, that's a great call.
Yeah,
Great call.
Look at them celebrating. The trainer speak is 99% bullshit. Linda Rice was after the Jerome. Oh, he definitely wants a mile and an eighth. We think it'll be better there. As soon as he was second there, oh, he's definitely better at a mile. So they were going to target the Gotham, and then he missed it because he was sick. And after that, I said, well, I think the mile and an eighth, maybe that'll still move him up. Sure, let's go Pat Day Mile. Why not? The trainer has as good an idea as we do right now with the horse. Definitely distance limited. I think we saw that here. Hey, Frosted was best at a mile, right? So they had that unbelievable mile victory as a 4-year-old. So, all right, that was that. And I'm so glad that I jinxed it and set it up for us at the beginning of the show saying, well, something screwy is going to happen, and it's got to be Aqueduct because it almost happened at Santa Anita.
Lord.
Boy. All right. We're going to close things out here. Before we go, I'll go around the horn. Forget price. Right now, your Kentucky Derby pick to win is Mr. Somich.
Forte. How will I not be betting Forte?
Yeah, those odds are going to be screwy. Doc, what about you?
Forte as well, but I can't. As I said, I can't bet him there, and we'll see how if he gets the one post, I'm not going to bet him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's true. Vinny, what about you?
Yeah, I'm on Forte right now. Let's curious what the post positions in the betting looks like, but right now he should be a very solid favorite in my opinion.
I'll get to Dave Bruce's comment in a second. My pick. Shit, I hate this. I asked the question the whole time I'm sitting here going, I don't know who I'm going to say. I think at this point, Kingsbarns. At this point, tell me why Kingsbarns can't do it, other than the fact that he doesn't have the foundation of racing as a 2-year-old. That's the one knock I have against him. He won Louisiana Derby inheriting a slow lead and didn't want it. Kept waiting for Jace's Row to get his ass in the race. Never did it. So, yeah, that works out that way. Dave Barista, can the stewards at least rule that Paco gets punched in the face? If he had done that to Irad, that would have been coming, and you would have seen it right there at the scales. If you haven't seen that, Paco getting just blasted in the face by Irad. If you've ever been mad at Paco, that's a good one to go watch.
We still need PDJF celebrity boxing with these jockeys.
Yeah.
Damn, Jared Rogers, you were on the run of a lifetime. Well, lifetime would be for me, but you're on a run to hit the pick 3 at Keeneland for $40 to end things out there. I wasn't paying attention, but if you hit it for $40, that's 80 times. So good job on that one. Cheyenne saying Kingsbarns or tap at Trice. Yeah, that Wood Memorial. Traditionally, the Wood Memorial not great. So I don't blame you
Fletcher's
for
gonna
not
have the top 3 choices in the Derby, right?
Depends on what Japanese horses take.
Japanese.
Yeah, Japanese, and
I'll
I
say
still
top
think
4.
Practical Move. Yeah, I think Practical Move still gets play too. So
He'll get play. Awesome. All right. So that is it for today's show, but this is just the start of the Kentucky Derby Talk. Remember, it is 4 weeks away from today. We will be here at racingdudes.com and youtube.com/racingdudes covering it every single day leading up to it. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at @racing_dudes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/racingdudes. Trying to get, it's a lofty goal, but I'm trying to get us to 11,000 subscribers by Kentucky Derby Day. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. We'll have all sorts of content coming out, lots of videos, opinion pieces, and we'd love to hear from you. We'd love interacting with the comments in the chats. All of that is great stuff. From Mike Somich, Dr. Tang, Vinny Blonde, I've been Magic. Thanks so much, everybody, and we will see you all on Monday for the Magic Mike Show, when Mike and I are just going to tell you everything that happened today, but in a little more succinct detail. Take care, everybody. RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track across the country. We're ramping up for the 2023 Kentucky Derby, and we want you to join us in the fun. Subscribe to Racing Dudes YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a single video. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.